in the world that Annie the Sakura Strawberry Kitty Nat lost her respect on Caleb the Half-Life Editor 07 for being a pervert and being a sock puppet maker back on January this year, I think. That was an invalid reason for Annie to hate Caleb the Half-Life Editor 07. This is why another example of why I'm preferring 2019 and 2020 more than 2021. Because of people are trusting the perverts back in 2019 and 2020 before they're doing the perverted stuff in 2021. What should I do for today? I have an idea now. Since Annie despite Caleb the Half-Life Editor 07 for a stupid reason back on January this year, I think I will forcing Annie the Sakura Strawberry Kitty Nat to like Caleb the Half-Life Editor 07 again. That will giving Annie a hate dump for that. Ha 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 ha
Man, I am so hungry. I guess I will cook the food for myself. Ugh! It's you again, Althea Andrea. Did you see that I am hungry, and I'm preparing on cooking the food to eat for myself? And what are you here in my kitchen? Get out of here or else I am calling your parents.
Hey Annie the Sakura Strawberry Kitty Nut. Start liking Caleb the Half-Life Editor 07 again right now. Do you know why? Because of you hating Caleb for absolutely invalid reason at all.
Bruh. Really right now, Althea? I am not going to like or trust Caleb the Half-Life Editor 07 again just like I'm used to be back in 2020. Because of 1. He is a pervert. 2. He is a sock puppet maker. 3. He makes a threatened post out of Landon just because November 28th. Although Landon already regret making roasting videos. And finally, 4. He is a pedophile.
I'm not freaking care. Start liking Caleb the Half-Life Editor 07 again, just like what you used to be back in 2020 right now. Do it.
Oh hell no. I am not going to like or trusting Caleb the sock puppet maker again just like what I'm used to be back on last year. Besides, I'm regret liking nor trusting Caleb the sock puppet maker back in 2020, aka last year. And I'm already admitted that fact that I am liking or trusting him. So get out. Or me and Sophie Cat beat you up in the kitchen.
I've said. I am not freaking care. Start liking Caleb the Half-Life Editor 07 again just like you used to be back in 2020 right now.
I've said. Hell no. I am not going to like nor trusting Caleb again, or wishing Caleb the sock puppet maker a happy birthday on next month. And listen here you Althea the sock puppet supporter. I will wish Equin's mom a happy birthday instead of wish Caleb the sock puppet maker a happy birthday on January 8th. And don't you think about sending me a grounded threat or a death threat to me just because I am not going to like or trust Caleb the Half-Life Editor 07 again just like I've used to be back on last year, which is 2020.
That's it. Only the toxic sock puppet hater. You're grounded for 9. Eternity. Now go down my fire. Run the ugliest girl ever. Wow. You've just sended me a grounded threats, for a freaking ridiculous amount of time? And you've sended me a death threat too? Wow. Althea. You've just crossed the line for that. You know what? I am going to beat you up with Sophie Cat for forcing me to like Caleb the sock puppet maker again, just like I've used to be back on last year.
Sophie Cat. Can you come over here please? Yes. Could I need your help? Look Sophie. Althea just forced me to like Caleb the sock puppet maker again. And she sends me a grounded and a death threat. Can you please beat her up along with me?
She did what? Oh my goodness. Let's go, Annie. We will beat Althea and her up in the nuts for forcing me to like that pervert again.
No 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 no. Please. Girls. I don't want to beat me up by both of you just for this. Wow. It hurts so way much.
We don't care. This is what you deserved for forcing me to like Caleb the sock puppet maker and a pervert again, and send me a grounded and a death threat just because I am not going to like or trust Caleb the sock puppet maker and a pervert again. I am calling your parents for forcing Annie the Sakura Strawberry Kitty Chan to like Caleb the Half-Life Editor 07 again. Go home right now. You pervert and a sock puppet supporter.
Are you freaking kidding me, Althea? I cannot believe that you forced Annie the Sakura Strawberry Kitty Nat to like or trust in Caleb the Half-Life Editor 07, aka the sock puppet maker again, just like she was used to be back on last year. You should know that Annie can hate Caleb the Half-Life Editor 07 whatever she wants to due to the fact that he is a pervert, sock puppet maker, racist, a doxer, and a pedophile. Also, why would you send Annie a grounded and a death threat? You should know that you are not Annie's mom to ground her, and death threats towards Annie doesn't work at all. That's it. You are grounded for 2 weeks and 6 days. Go upstairs to your room right now. You sock puppet supporter.
Wow.